魔術師風情。騎士を捕らえるなどと口にするのも大罪よ。あれは王である俺のものだ。王の宝に手を出す輩にはかような串刺しが似合っていよう。さて、久しいなセイバー。覚えているか？俺が下した決定を。
His tone turns amicably as he addresses Saber. But Saber doesn't answer. She only glares all the more intensely at him.
なんだその顔は。未だ覚悟ができていないというのか。あれから10年だぞ。すでに心を決めても良い頃だな。ああ。もっともそれは俺だけの話なのか。お前にとってはつい先日の話であった。まったく男を待たせるとはたわけた女だ。
He laughs heartily. My heart's pounding, partially from the disaster I just witnessed, but beyond that, the way he's looking at Saber is making me nauseous.
まだ雑種が残っていた。
He glances towards the house, annoyed. I look and see Tosaka and Ilya on the veranda in front of the living room. Ilya looks up at the man like she's just seen a ghost. She strains her eyes for a moment, then shakes her head in disbelief. Ilya jumps off the veranda and glares at the man as if in challenge. What? Wait, Ilya! My words don't reach her. Ilya releases a mass of magical energy straight at the man. I hear it rushing through the air. He does nothing. A mirrored shield appears in front of him and reflects Ilya's attack back at her. She's been so blind and desperate in her attack that she now has no time to react to it. Ilya can only stand there as her attack rebounds towards her. Tosaka steps in and saves her, blocking the attack.
なるほど。今回はまた変わり種だな。前回の鉄を踏まぬよう少しは工夫したということか。
He looks down at Ilya, scrutinizing her. He looks at Ilya the same way he looks at Saber, coolly, as though appraising prized possessions. Ilya glares at the man while Tosaka tries to hold her back. He says it so simply. I'm not sure why that had any effect on her. Ilya trembles violently, then slumps to the ground. That's it. Nothing else can happen. Tosaka and I can only look up at the man. We completely understand. He's not looking at us. If either of us so much as speak up, we'll meet the same fate as Castor. But not Saber. Her silence as she stares up at the Golden Knight is entirely different than ours. Saber tries to keep her voice under control. Tosak and I can only gasp in surprise.
も何もなかろう。聖杯は俺のものだ。自らの持ち物を取りに来て何が悪い。
ふざけたことを。あなたはそのような英雄ではない。いや、そもそも。やめておけ。その先を口にしては戦わざるを得なくなるぞ、騎士王よ。いや、元よりそのつもりであったが、今日がそがれた。再会を祝すにしては、ここはみすぼらしすぎるからな。
In other words, he's letting us live because he stopped caring about our existence. And with that, the man in gold turns away. He turns his back to us as if to demonstrate that we are no threat.
いずれ会うぞ、セイバー。あの時から俺の決定は変わらん。次に出向くまでに心を決めておくがいい。
He disappears. The tension fades, and the yard returns to the usual tranquility. But the only thing that but it's the only thing that returns to how it was. The Emiya house is in shambles, and Ilya has fainted. And Saber, still with her back to us, remains silent. New archer. Look at this guy's stats. 182, 68 kilograms, chaotic good. I don't know how you could call this guy good. Strength B, Constitution C, Agility C, Magic B, Luck A, Noble Phantasm EX. Magic Resistance E. His magic resistance is bunk, though. Protection against Magecraft it cannot nullify Magecraft, but simply reduces damage of a certain value. A skill that allows movement even without a master. The ability to command and lead large armies. With this amount of charisma, it is closer to Magecraft or a curse rather than a skill representing high esteem. Look at all these new weapons we just got. Dainsleaf. The magical sword of the Nibelung Lie. Dainsleaf is a cursed noble phantasm that brings ruin to its owner. This sword was passed down through the tribe that killed the Norse hero Siegfried. And it is initially part of the horde of Fafnir the dragon. It holds the powerful curse of retaliation, while also driving the owner's fate to ruin. Magical swords and sacred swords carry both glory and destruction, but this noble phantasm only brings destruction to its owner. Vajra. One of the core divine weapons of Indra, the god of thunder in ancient Indian mythology. Indra was a phenomenon initially spread to India by the Aryans. And the Vajra is also officially known as the Srivijaya. As Buddhism grew in influence, Indra's name became Sakra, or Taishakutan, and his divine symbol's name changed as well. Vajra is a noble phantasm that can only be loosed once, dealing damage equivalent to a B+ attack. It is a convenient weapon that inflicts a fixed amount of damage, regardless of the user's magical energy. Vajra refers to the diamond pestle carried by the Buddhist gods. So he's just got a godly weapon in his arsenal. Durandal. Sacred Sword of Roland and the Paladin from medieval Europe. Durandal was said to have been granted to Charlemagne by angels, and he bestowed the sword upon Roland, chief among the 12 peers. It is said to be a radiant sword containing 3 miracles. It does not lose its sharpness, even if its wielder's magical energy is exhausted. As with Caliburn, it is forged to be a splendid symbol of authority. Harpe. The divine sword of Perseus, the famous hero of Greek mythology, used to slay the Gorgon Medusa. Harpe itself is not particularly outstanding as a sword, but its most unique property is its ability to refract longevity. It is a divine power that nullifies the powers of immortality, and wounds made by Harpe can never be restored, though healing via natural laws is still possible. It was used to kill Medusa, the youngest of the three immortal sisters. I set a futon out in the living room and laid the unconscious Elia on it. She may have fainted, but her fate is as peaceful at least. See if you can guess this guy's true identity. I feel a slap up on my back. Ouch! Tosaka, is that any way to treat the injured? Just who was the dumbass who got himself stabbed in the first place? Gah! Cold! She wraps the bandage around my right shoulder with surprising skill. It's past 10. After our battle with Castor, Tosaka began treating my wounds as soon as we got back to the living room. Well, she started, but most of my wounds have already healed, so now she's just fussing over me. Who told you? I mean, no. Of course I am. Totally. Guys, I think she's on to me. I think she said something similar before. Hey, I'm just an ordinary human being. Even I don't know what's going on with my body, so don't bother asking. Can we not catch that theory? The scary thing here is that Tosaka is serious. One of these days, she might actually try for my neck with an axe.
今までそのようなつながりは感じませんでしたが、それならば今も私の魔力はシローに流れていなければおかしいですし、第一、私の自然治癒はシローほど強くはあります。
Saber stares off into space, apparently not hearing Tosaka.
まさか、そんなはずは。
Saber shakes her head and looks down. Tosaka and I exchange looks. Saber's acting weird. Actually, I know why. Ever since that golden knight appeared, Saber's been pretty down.
まあ、シローのことは保留にしておきましょう。それよりセイバー、あなたさっきのやつと顔見知りだったの？あの金ピカ、セイバーが自分のものだとか言ってたけど。
Saber doesn't answer. She obviously doesn't want to talk about it. But I still want to know. Tosaka is asking the questions I want answers to. Saber, if you know, then tell us. Who was that guy? You called him Archer.
はい。認めたくはありませんが、私は彼を知っています。ですがそれはありえない。サーバントは7人だけです。彼が召喚されるはずがない。
A servant, so he really is a servant. A servant. That's pretty obvious. That could be a real problem for us.
彼のクラスはアーチャーです。もちろん、リンが契約したアーチャーとは全く別の英霊で、その能力も英雄としての気質もあまりに違いますが。
I can tell. I only saw him briefly, but it was more than enough to get a sense of what the monster he is.
ちょっと待って、おかしいわよそれ。あいつがアーチャーのサーバントならそれで8人目よ。一つの期間で召喚できるサーバントは7人が限度のはずでしょ。数が減ったから補充するなんてことは絶対にない。そもそも7人以上の召喚は聖杯だって魔力が持たないわ。サーバントが7人っていうのはそれが一度に呼び出せる限度数だからでしょ。なら8人目はどうしたって呼び出す。待った。セイバー、あなた前回の戦いであいつと出会ったの？
その通りです、リン。前回の聖杯戦争における最後の一日、火の海の中で私は彼と戦った。
For a moment, my entire body tenses. Saber fought in the sea of fire. This is nothing new. I already heard from Kotamine that the fire was caused by the Holy Grail War, so it shouldn't be a surprise. I've been trying not to think about it all this time.
決着は？あなた、あいつをきちんと倒したの？
倒してはいません。いいえ、倒すことはできなかった。なぜなら私は
逆にあいつに任された。今回とは違う。きちんと召喚されて敵なしだったあなたが勝てなかった相手ね。
Saber hangs her head, but doesn't answer. And that's an answer enough. Saber couldn't win? Not this imperfect Saber hobbled by my weakness, but Saber with nothing holding her back? Is that even possible? If you consider her expressly in terms of her strength as a swordsman, Saber isn't invincible. She was weaker than Berserker, but Saber has her noble phantasm. The other servants' noble phantasms are powerful, but Saber exceeds them all. It's hard to believe there could be a hero in this world that her sacred sword can't defeat.
それじゃあ決まりよ。あいつ今回の戦いで呼ばれたサーバントじゃなくて、前回からそのまま残ったサーバントなんじゃない？ そうでなければ辻褄が合わないもの。
My mind stops working. It's not that I agree with Tosaka's his assessment, but she's describing what I've been hoping and could, what I've been hoping could be possible since yesterday.
ですがそれは。
ですがも何もないわ。それ以外に説明がつかないんだから。一度の聖杯戦争で呼び出せるのは7人だけ。それ以外のサーバントがいるとしたら、それは前回生き残った勝者だけじゃなくて。
There's a heavy silence. Yet, why does Tosaka look so pleased? Tosaka, why do you look so happy?
当然じゃない。だって前例がいてくれたのよ。あいつが何者か知らないけど、要するに前回の戦いで最後まで勝ち残ったサーバントなんでしょ。ならあいつは聖杯を手に入れたのよ。でその恩恵でずっと世界に残ってる。つまり聖杯さえ手に入れればサーバントを世界に留めておけるっていう見本じゃない。あいつをとっ捕まえて詳しい話を聞きたいぐらいよ。
Bold claim. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tosaka. I don't know who the heck that guy is, but he's a servant, and he's remained in this world since the previous war, which means there's a way for Saber to do the same.
とまあ、あいつが何者で何が目的かは不明だけど、倒すべき敵には変わりなさそうね。セイバー、それであいつの正体は何なの？
それがわからないのです。前回の戦いでも私は最後まで彼の正体がつかめなかった。あの英雄にはシンボルとなる宝具が存在しなかった。
He didn't have a noble phantasm that made clear who he was? That's ridiculous. A servant who doesn't have a noble phantasm wouldn't be a servant, right? Besides, he just...
そうよ、さっき山ほど使ってたじゃない。あれだけあれば正体を探るなんてどうさもないでしょ。宝具の形状から該当する英雄を探せばいいんだから。
では聞きますが、リンは先ほどの宝具に一つでも見覚えはありましたか？
Remember, these suddenly popped up, meaning they were among the weapons, and they're each from a different legend.
そんなの当然じゃない。
Tosaka thinks hard for a moment. She folds her arm over her chest, frowning, and then just tilts her head in confusion.
そんなはずない。
Huh? What's going on, Tosaka? What's impossible?
信じられない。あの血に濡れてたのは多分ダインスレフで、鎌っぽいのはハルペイよね。なんか中華っぽいやつもあったし、お不動産のあれもあったような。
Tosaka looks almost as crazed as she mutters to herself. She looks a bit like she's tumbling down a rabbit hole.
あれなんかセーバーの剣に似てたけど別物のはずよ。ああいう素朴なデザインは北欧っぽかったし、そういえば大抵の魔剣の原型って北欧だって話だけど。
She's even starting to grind her teeth. Hey, Tosaka. Leaving her to her own devices will do more harm than good. If I don't stop her right now, we'll wind up paying the price later. Especially me. Tosaka! Tosaka! Come back to us!
ああ、もう黙っててよしろ。あんたがちゃちゃ入れるから頭が混乱してきたじゃない。
I'm not trying to butt in. You're talking about that guy's noble phantasm, right? Judging from their shape, if there was Dainsleif, Harpy, Durandal, Vajra, Calibog, and Oh, and Gaibolg. I don't know the Chinese one, but I think I covered all the famous ones.
それ合ってる。
I don't love the face she's making. It leaves me feeling even worse. I don't know much, but I just blurted out what leaped into my mind.
けどそれってどういうことよ。そんなデタラメな数の宝具を持ってる英雄なんていないわ。いえ、そもそも出典がごちゃ混ぜでもう何が何だか。
ええ、ですから私も彼の正体は分からなかった。英雄の証となる宝具をあの男は湯水のように持っているのです。あまりにも数がありすぎるためアーチャーの正体を絞り込むことはできなかった。
The two look perplexed. Well, with so many noble phantasms, we have no hope of determining who he is. It's like hiding a leaf in a forest.
シロ、あんたなんかないの？
Tosaka, obviously annoyed, glares at me, expecting I'm not sure what. She's just taking her frustration out on me, I guess. Like what?
だから気づいたこととか推理とか、とにかく瞬間的なひらめきよ。私たちに必要なものは意外性のある意見なの。行き詰まった事態を解決するのは偶然だけなんだから。
She may be right. Haha, I get it. You're making fun of me.
失礼ね。戦力外だと思ってるだけよ。ね、どうなの？
I've got nothing. I raise my hand up in surrender. Tosaka groans.
となると結論は一つね。セイバー、あいつが使ってた宝具はみんな偽物だと思わない？そうでも。
同意見です。ですが
となると結論は一つね。セイバー、あいつが使ってた宝具はみんな偽物だと思わない？そうでもなければ説明がつかないでしょ？
Huh? They weren't fakes? Huh? They weren't fakes. How'd I figure that out? Besides, fake noble phantasms wouldn't have harmed Castor.
ふーん。エミヤ君、その根拠は？
I'm just saying, they were real. Actually, everything else seemed fake.
は？
It's intuition. I can't explain it, but those were all real. Lancer's guy Bolg is real, of course, but the spear that other guy used is also the real guy Bolg. What? Her making that face isn't making explaining this any easier. It doesn't seem that it doesn't help that I have no idea how I know this. I just know all his novel phantasms are real. I can feel it. Maybe it's because I used projection during our battle against Berserker. After seeing all those noble phantasms, I can tell they're all real. A great weapon is imbued with specific concepts, while imitations lack something. I learned that much when I replicated Saber's sword. In that regard, I think all noble phantasms that Servant had were perfect.
まあ、シローの発言はとりあえず置いておいて。あいつの正体がわからない以上、次は目的なんだけど。
Tosaka sneaks a glance at Saber.
あいつも聖杯を狙ってるのは当然として、気になる点がもう一つあるのよね。セイバー、はっきり聞いていいかしら。
Why does she always have that mischievous look when it comes to topics like this?
それはどういう意味でしょうか、リン。尋ねたいことがあるのならば遠慮することはありませんが。
なら聞くけど、セイバーはあいつをどう思ってるの？あいつの言いぶりからすると、どうもセイバーにお熱のようだったけど。
I'm not following Tosaka's lead, but I also sneak a glance towards Saber. I don't think Tosaka has it wrong. He seems obsessed with Saber. Actually, it's beyond being obsessed. From the very beginning, he only saw Saber as his possession.
彼が何を考えているかなど、私の知るところではありません。ですが、前回の戦いの折、求婚された覚えはあります。無論、剣と共に切って捨てましたが。
Propose? You mean that kind of proposal? No, Shiro, he meant a business proposal. What? What the heck is that servant thinking?
この場合、喜ぶべきか微妙だけど、それなりに悪い気はしないんじゃない？サーバントになってからも求愛されるなんて、女冥利に尽きるってもんじゃない。
そのようなことはありません。もとより私にそんな自由はない。私の目的は聖杯を手に入れることです。正直、あのようなざれ言は勘に触ります。
そう？セイバーはそうでも、あいつはかなりご執心だったじゃない。あの手のタイプはね、相手が断っても一向に答えないんだから。
Which gives you all the more reason to chop them.
セイバーも頑固だし、いっそああいうやつの方がお似合いかもよ。
No. Tosaka's being irresponsible, so I'm not sure why she looks so amused. Tosaka looks like she's happy to have a conversation like this with Saber, even though Saber seems disinterested.
ですからそのようなことに関心はないと言っているでしょう。彼は確かに優れた英霊ですが、私とは考え方が違いすぎる。
Saber's responses are at least sincere.
だってさシロ、セイバーは男なんて関心がないんだって。安心した？リン、今のはシローには関係のない話だと思います。今の発言はどこかおかしい。でしょうね。今のは私の失言だったわ。けど何がおかしいのかって、おかしいことがおかしいわけ。
Tosaka laughs menacingly. Her eyes make it clear she's laughing at me as much as at Saber. I don't know what's pissing me off, but I get up without a word.
ちょっとどこ行くのよシロ。
Tea. I'm getting thirsty, and I figured I'd prepare tea for everyone. I huff and head towards the kitchen. I don't know why, but I'm just irritated, so I decide to make super bitter tea for Tosaka.
それじゃあとりあえず部屋に戻るわ。込み入った話は明日イリアが起きてからにしましょう。
After teasing Saber for a good while, Tosaka gulps down her bitter tea and gets up. Yeah, go to sleep. Don't come back here.
はいはい。それじゃああとはよろしくね。
I don't know why she's so amused, but Tosaka's mood seems good, even as she turns back to the outbuilding. Into the outbuilding.
傷が癒えたと言っても無理は禁物ですから、今夜は休むべきではないでしょうか。
Yeah, I intend to, but I'm going to watch Ilya a little more. If she seems alright, I'll take her to the spare room and then I'll go to bed too.
そうですか。それでは、それまで私も付き添います。
And that's where our conversation ends. Tosaka was the one making all the noise, so it's gotten awkward now that it's quiet. Well, it's not that awkward. I'm anxious because there's so many questions rattling around in my head and so many things I want to say. Come to think of it, I haven't really been able to talk to Saber about the Holy Grail, about her not being dead, about how even if she obtains the Holy Grail, there is no salvation for her. There's no need to explain why. She still doesn't have a wish for herself. Saber, about our conversation earlier. Our eyes meet. Hers telling me she knows what I want to say.
はい。何でしょうか、シロ。
She tries to divert what I have to say with her quiet tone. But I have to talk to her. I said about our earlier conversation, Tosaka said servants can stay in this world if they obtain the Holy Grail, so...
いいえ、私は残るつもりはありません。聖杯を手に入れれば、元の私に戻るだけです。
So you're going to redo the selection of the king, rather than saving yourself from the brink of death? You want to start over from the very beginning?
はい。国を守るのは王の責務です。私の力が及ばなかったのですから、せめてふさわしい王を選び直さなければなりません。
She says this like she's talking to a stranger. For some reason, I get real mad. You idiot, wake up! To hell with a king's duty. What matters is that you're here, so you should do what you want to do. You're strong, right? Then finish off the war right now, get your Holy Grail, and quit being a servant. If you have a wish, don't use it to go back in time to redo everything. If you want to change, don't change your past itself, but a way to change now, then return to the past from here. Saber doesn't answer. She sighs.
シロ、しつこいです。その話はもうやめてほしい。
She rejects what I said outright.
それに、聖杯があればこの時代に残れるというわけでもありません。アーチャー、あのサーバントは聖杯を手に入れたから残っているわけではない。なぜなら前回の戦いで聖杯を得られるはずがないのですから。
Huh? What do you mean?
ないものは手に入れようがないでしょう。あの日、街が炎に包まれた時、私を裏切ったマスター、エミやキリツグによって。
Dun dun dun! What? The edges of my vision goes dark. I nearly fall backward, but catch myself with both hands. Kiritsugu Emiya?
はい。10年前、前回の聖杯戦争における私のマスターは彼でした。私とキリツグは最後まで勝ち残り、聖杯はキリツグの手に渡った。アーチャーとそのマスターはまだ残っていましたから、あとは彼らを倒すだけで聖杯戦争は終了するはずだった。ですが、キリツグは聖杯を捨てたのです。その結果、町は火に包まれました。あの男は私に命じて聖杯を破壊させた。聖杯に触れられるのはサーバントだけですから。キリツグは最後の霊樹を使って私の手で強制的に聖杯を破壊させたのです。聖杯が失われてはサーバントはこの世にとどまれない。キリツグも私をとどめようとは思わなかった。私の記憶はそこまでです。あのアーチャーとの決着も私を裏切ったキリツグを問いただすこともできなかった。
It's not like I never thought about it. My old man was a mage. If he lived in this town, he could have been involved in a Holy Grail war. But still... Why didn't you tell me, Saber? Why didn't you tell me my old man was a master?
通常、サーバントというのは以前の記憶など持ちませんし、同じ英霊がサーバントとして召喚されることもない。私はサーバントとしては異例です。ですから、この件に関しては口に出すべきではないと判断したのです。それにシローには、キリツグがどんなマスターだったのかを語るのは 気が進まなかった。
Huh? Why didn't you want to tell me?
シロ、あなたが私の過去を夢見たように、私もあなたの過去を見てしまった。あなたのことにも驚きましたが、キリツグの変わりようも私には信じられなかった。シロの記憶にいるエミやキリツグは立派な人物です。ですが、一言で言ってしまえば、彼は典型的な魔術師だった。己が目的にしか興味はなく、阻むものは何であろうと排除する。およそ人間らしい感情など彼には見当たらなかった。シローの記憶にいるエミやキリツグは立派な人物です。ですが、私の記憶にある彼はそのような人物ではなかった。私が戦いを通して話しかけられたのは3度だけです。それが何であるかは言うまでもないとは思いますが。
Yeah, he only talked to her to use the command spells.
残忍というわけではなかったし、殺人鬼というわけでもなかった。けれど、彼には情というものが存在しなかった。キリツグが私を道具として扱ったように、彼本人もまた自身を道具としてしか見ていなかった。キリツグはあらゆる感情を殺し、あらゆる敵を殺した。そこまでして信じたものが何であったのかは私にはわからない。ただ、その目的であった聖杯を前にして彼を告白すれば、そこまでして信じたものが何であったのかは私にはわからない。ただ、その目的であった聖杯を前にして彼は私に破壊を命じた。あの時ほど霊樹の存在を呪ったことも、私を裏切った相手を呪ったこともありません。
There's truth in Saber's words. No, they must all be true. I realized I knew nothing about Kuretsugu, about what Kuretsugu was like before I met him. There was no way for me to find out what kind of person he'd been before that, and there was no need. Even if Kuretsugu and Miya was cold-hearted, it wouldn't change a thing. The man who adopted Shiro and Miya as his son was so much warmer. That's the only truth about him to me. But what nags at me is, if Kuretsugu truly was so ruthless, then his final moments were just too empty and futile. I see. Then maybe I was able to summon you because I'm Kuretsugu's son.
キリツグは正規の手順で私を呼び寄せました。マスターとしての適性が高かったキリツグは、歴史のある魔術師の家系に雇われ、聖杯戦争に参加した。マスターとしての準備は、その家系が全て揃えたと言います。彼らは私の遺品をコーンウォールから発掘し、キリツグに委ねて聖杯戦争に臨ませた。キリツグはそれを触媒にして私を召喚したのです。ですから、キリツグ本人には私を呼び寄せる因子もなければ、属性が近いというわけでもありません。シローが私を引き寄せたのは、何か別の力が働いたからでしょう。
I got it. I'm not that surprised my old man was a master. That doesn't surprise... What does surprise me is that the servant is the same King Arthur with me now. And one more thing. Saber said that the Holy Grail was destroyed. Then maybe this war is meaningless to begin with. I don't get it. You already knew there's no Holy Grail, right? So why did you decide to join this ridiculous war?
確かに、聖杯の有無は私には分かりません。けれど私が呼ばれた以上、聖杯はなければおかしい。忘れたのですか、シロ。私は聖杯を手に入れるためにサーバントになった。逆に言えば、聖杯がない場所に私は呼ばれないのです。
Oh yeah, but then does that mean a Holy Grail can fix itself after it's destroyed?
いいえ、聖杯はそう簡単に替えが利くものではない。一度壊れた聖杯が治ることなどないでしょう。
But then
ですがあるはずです。サーバントは聖杯の磁力に惹かれて現れる。聖杯がなければサーバントは現れない。それはあの神父も語っていたのではありませんか。
the priest. Oh yeah, that guy. The guy living in the church, the overseer of the Holy Grail War. The man who's managing the Holy Grail should be able to answer all my questions. The end of the previous war, the whereabouts of the destroyed Holy Grail, and how that archer is still around. And yeah, what did Kuretsugu see at the end of the battle that made him want to destroy the Holy Grail? I'm actually going to end it there for tonight. We have gone a bit over time. All right, then. So, things just got crazy, huh? We were attacked by Castor, and then suddenly, suddenly we got a new servant and came about. What is going on here? And we can't nail the servant and some true identity. But I'll tell you this. We have already seen him on this channel in a previous series I did. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out what it was. And I have accidentally blurted out his name before. We didn't learn his true name then. But that's not going to be... but maybe that won't be the case this time, huh? Okay, so let us set up a raid. We are going to raid Robin, who is playing Little Nightmares 2. Okay, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you like my stuff and you haven't already, please leave a follow. It helps me as a small VTuber, and you can also check my socials down there. Though I have moved over to Blue Sky, so rather go there than to my Twitter. So tomorrow we will be continuing in Hollow Knight and going towards the next ending. So I hope to see you then. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. This is Metis Balaska, signing out.